kind of cold outside today, but it's bright and sunny. Very different from when I took these shots here. So I'm going to pick these. This is a triple, an HDR set that I took last year. And so the first thing I'm going to do is just move these out into HDR Effects Pro, the NIC plugin, and combine them to see what comes out of that. Beyond that, I'm not really sure, but I like the shape. I like the slant to the tree here. I like this little kind of halo of sky. Not sure what's going to happen with it, but we'll give it a shot. That looks all right. Create the HDR. And now that the HDR is there, I'll apply one of the presets here. I usually like the deep presets, and I think I'll just go with this. Again, the actual settings are not going to make a lot of difference because I'm just going to do something strange with it, I'm sure. I'm hoping that I can capitalize on the... Here we go. There it is. On this up here, on the way that these branches are, I can see that I've got some chromatic aberration in here. You see all the purple fringe. So I'm going to take the color slider for noise reduction and just move that way up. That helped some. How about overall noise reduction? Yeah, that helps some too. Actually, it does make a difference on the lines of the branches, and that's really what I'm looking for, is the lines of these branches here. What about exposure? The histogram looks like it could use a little bit more brightness. Now bring down the highlights so that I get some more detail back in the snow. And how about shadows? Let's set a white threshold. Yep, a lot of white in this. And a black threshold. That's pretty good. I'm not going to bother with clarity and vibrance and all that stuff because basically it looks pretty black and white. That's what I'm going to do with this, and from here we'll go into Photoshop. Is just make a copy of the background layer so that I always have that to fall back on. And from here, I think I'm going to segment some of this out. I'll just use the lasso, and I'm going to kind of grab some of this area here, and we'll make a copy of that as a layer. Although, just to be safe, let's do the same thing here. And this is the thing that I really need to find a tutorial on this so that I can make the same selection without having to use the same selection, without having to make the selection again. Because what I want to do here is select that, invert it, and now have a background, another layer of that. So if I close up these, what I have here is I've got one layer of the top, I've got one layer of the trunk, I've got one layer of everything else, and then of course I've got the backgrounds that I'll use to fill in. So let's go to this one here, and I'm going to try my new toy here, the Topaz Glow. And I'm hoping that's going to give me the kind of electric. The branches up there look to me like like electric sparks. Yeah, kind of like that, right? Although that may not be Blazing neon. Wow. Kind of interesting. If I wanted to be a little bit more ephemeral, not effeminate, ephemeral, there's some nice options in here. Ooh, love that one. So the question is, how extreme should I go? See, now here's one of the things that I don't appreciate about the plugin, and it's probably just that they haven't really gone into the detail on each one of these. See, this one, this fur and feathers looks just like this fur and feathers pretty much. But when you apply it, it really does not come out like what the example is. So I'm a little disappointed in that, but I'm sure that's something that will be figured out and fixed. So let's just take this one here. I like that, although it's not extreme. But here we'll take the electrify, since what I'm working here is to electrify the branches, and it doesn't have a whole lot of effect, does it? That's kind of nice. The edge color. Yeah, I like that. Detail. What about detail? Brightness. Do I want to bring that brightness up? The trunk I'm probably going to replace with something else anyhow. I'm not going to worry about that. Line rotation is not at all, so let's see what happens if we move it up a few degrees or down a few degrees. Okay, that's good. How about the glow? Is at 0. What happens if we bump the glow up? It kind of gives us a little spooky thing, huh? Electrify on the secondary glow is all the way up. Take that down. No, I like it all the way up. And details, brightness, contrast, line, glow spread. Does that make any difference? Not really. All right, what about colors? Do we want to make any color change? I don't think so. Effect coverage, it's 0 now. Smudge, sharpness. I'm going to go ahead and take this one. All right, there we go. Now let's take the trunk. So basically this part right here. And I'm going to clean this up just a little bit, because what I don't want is to, I don't want to overwrite the effect that I've got going on in the branches. So I'm just going to take this down quite a bit. Just using the eraser here to trim this out. All right, we'll filter that. And probably only because this is a new toy, I'm going to go ahead and use the glow again. And let's just see what happens. So I think that, yeah, see, it picked up the same tool that I used before. It would be nice if that tool showed up here as the very top one, rather than just be somewhere in the list, because I may never find it again. Oh, that looks, I don't think I used galactic. So what do I want with this? You know, I really like the Liquify stuff. So Liquify 2. That does a nice job on Isn't that interesting? It picked this up even though I erased it. How does that work? All right, so what happens if we electrify this? Too swirly. Sharpness down, maybe. Glow. No. I want more detail. So detail strength. Yeah, that's better. Only, what about detail size then? What's that going to do to it? Not much, but it did add some color, and you certainly get some feeling of that. Contrast, maybe that'll bring it out a bit more. At some point I will probably be able to better understand these tools, because right now I frankly don't understand them well enough to really say what's going to happen when I want to make a change. Glow spread doesn't really make much difference. So what if we turn the secondary glow from light to dark? And see, it gave it more of a blue cast, so that might actually be good. Adds to the coolness of the image. Bright contrast. Again, I'm not really sure what each one of these do. Let's take the saturation down, because yeah, that's better. Maybe not quite as much. Finishing touches, effect coverage. Let's take that up just a second here and see what happens. Not much. Some of these presets work better on different images and some on others. Alright, so I'm going to call that good. See, that's really what I wanted, so I'm not sure that's what I got. Okay, so if we put this in, and we bring back this layer on top, although I think what I need to do here is put there we go. And we'll probably have to do some blending in order to make this yeah, I'll have to clean that up some. And what about the rest of the world here? Alright, so let's take this one here, and I think what I'm going to do is, boy, I'm sticking with Topaz here. I'm going to use impression for the back of this, because I want the tree shapes to be there, but not as prominent. I have to say, I never really thought I would like the Topaz tools as much as I've found that I do. It's not good or bad. It's just, and maybe it's just that there's some new tools and new capabilities here that I'm liking to experiment with. All right, so what do we have? Let's try this DaVinci Sketch-ish preset. That's definitely interesting, right? It's nice in that it simplifies things, right? And I've got this glow in the middle, which might work really well with what I've got so far. Let's see. If we bring the stroke width down, that'll make it kind of pencilish, more pencil-y. Move the stroke length up. What about spill? I'm at 0.21 here. What happens when we take it up? That's nice. Coverage is at 0.33. Move it up. That's a little bit too much. Although, yeah, okay, I like that. Move the coverage center. I guess that's going to be this highlight thing, right? Well, it certainly brings a... ooh, that's pretty extreme there. All right. Let's take this up just a little bit more, up toward the top. And if that puts the highlight at the top, no, it doesn't. Doesn't really affect the highlight. So my coverage really is not affecting the highlight. Saturation, you know, it could probably use a little bit more color in the background than what we have. And lighting, brightness, contrast, vignette. Let's take the vignette down just a little bit because that's a pretty heavy vignette. That's not enough. I like the darkness of it. Okay, good. Let's take that. And you see down here there are blend modes and strength of application, but I'm not going to use those. You know what? I'm not liking this at all here. So this is nice, although I can see that I'm going to have to take care of some of this in here. You see how that's just way too sharp a change. So let's take the flow down here and see about getting rid of some of this. Yeah, I'm going to have to do some blending in there, I can see. Let's see what the blend modes do. Just a plain overlay. That's too weird. Let's go back to normal. Darken, multiply, color. I'm just going to duplicate that, and we'll take this layer into the Topaz Glow. I should be able to then just mask out the parts that I don't want. Maybe cleaner, and I'll be able to use blend modes a little bit more effectively. Let's see what that does. Oh yeah. That's pretty good. I'm going to just take that as it is. And that's now on top of this other kind of monochromish layer. Let's see what our blending does. Yeah, I'm kind of liking this. All right, so let's put a layer a mask on top of that. Take my brush, sure my flow is down here, and what I want to do is kind of take out mostly along here, because what I liked about that other layer really was the trunk. So let's get rid of this second layer here. That's normal opacity. This one is full 100% opacity on the lighten mode. What happened? But the blend mode is so what happens if we bring this down? We get more of the tree, and I think I like having some of the tree, because otherwise this just looks like noise. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. You know, with all these things, they're all experiments, and I know that if I spend more time on them, I can make them different. But part of the beauty of this for me is being able to make the mistakes, because, I mean, who's to say what's right? Not me, that's for sure. So while this is saving, I think the only thing I'm going to do is kind of trim this up a little bit. The vignette from the background layer is already still there. I don't need any additional textures on this. All I really want to do is get rid of that little light edge around the borders. And I'll just crop it in Lightroom. Be sure that the other settings are appropriate, but I think I like the result that we've got here. All right, so there's Lightroom, and we'll just bring this in just a bit here, and up just a bit here. And I don't think I need anything else. It's the details. Again, the detail is just fine. All right, so that's what I've got. And nice, it does kind of give you the wintry electrical feeling, doesn't it? All right. Hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any particular questions. Thanks.